remember to get the link, but we'll do that later. All right, so I am on line. Let's go down to line 670 or so, okay? So we're adding this new, so the mediation, we'll call it mediation recruitment, right? So mediation recruitment is basically finding someone to do mediation. And basically what we're saying for this one right now is we're really not interested in doing that. We're saying, okay, let's go with something else. And this new thing we're talking about doing is what I would call a like an assessment / evaluation reporting, like interview and audit, right? So this would be difficult. I would put this in the more difficult category. It takes a little expertise to do this. And then we discussed about it, is that the first step is credentials and understanding and getting agreement. So we're going to be count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes. So make this one yellow for now. So we're going to be doing a proposal. But before we do the proposal, let's just think about the value of this work. So if we think about doing 1.5 hours per week, and we're doing 4 weeks, that comes out to $200, and that would be $100 setup and $100 of efficient work. So the question is 1.5 hours per week for 4 weeks. Is that a sufficient amount of time to actually move this forward? We don't need to do it quickly. We could do it over a couple months. But it would be good to kind of have clarity on the cost. Does that make sense? And then we can do the proposal. I don't know why this is like so big, but then we can do the proposal and basically say, okay, proposal to initiate a an assessment of the FQN issues and solutions, assessment / audit kind of thing, for X amount of money, question mark. So I mean, this is really your expertise, Angelito. So if this is something that you want to do, the first detail would be providing links or documentation and scope of expertise and understanding, right? So of what you would be doing. And then we want to make sure in the proposal for the team and the budget that there's clarity and agreement on how much this is going to cost per month, right? So like maybe it might cost $1,000, but if we spend $200 a month, it would take 5 months to do it. Does that make sense?
Yep, I think it would depend on the number of sample size that we need to use, like for the audit and the entire process, because it will usually start on the survey, so that we can identify the complexity or the level of the issues that we have, so that we can break it down.
Okay, so
because we need to have a documented information, so that it will be plotted on the number of correspondence based on a specific bucket of the issues that they have.
3, exhale. 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax. Yeah, so I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at it. One is like you do what's called a quote, to do an initial, scope and proposal for value, right? Because some people, they just don't know until they understand more about the situation, right? Then you can do what's called like a a first round, or like a draft assessment, right? So if you do like a first round or a draft assessment, that would be more of kind of like the initial framework that you're setting up, right? So this would just set up the initial framework to get a better idea of what you're doing, and then you might have like the full assessment, with the primary outcomes, established. So if you're not comfortable doing the full assessment, you could think about, okay, what are the outcomes for just like a draft, like an initial assessment or a draft framework. The problem with the quote is that typically no one gets paid for a quote. Does that make sense? You get paid after the quote.
Hmm.
Does that sort of make sense or no?
Yep. I just wanted to ask also. Just wanted to know. Do we have all documents readily and available for me to read and review since we're going back several years from this time?
Well, I mean, all the documents
Or
are basically public, so in that context, yeah, they're all available, but they're not organized. So
mhm.
we could link um, our Google folder, and there might be 1,000 documents in there, but are they all organized and clearly labeled and all that stuff? Not really, but overall, like going through thousands of documents, I don't think is a very particularly good use of time, or might not necessarily get the outcomes that you would want to have. Probably more useful would be to just talk to people, understand their problems, and then from there, building a report in relationship to what people's needs are, right?
Mhm.
So, but anyways, the primary thing is just the cost. So we could start with 1.5 hours per week.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
But if we went to, for example, if we went to 3 hours per week, that would be double the cost. So you're looking at $400 per month instead of $200 a month, right? So I don't think I would be comfortable going over $400 a month. So for me, it's between 1.5 hours a week and maximum 3 hours a week. I mean, I don't see us going to 4.5 or 6 hours a week on this. I mean, it doesn't make any sense financially. So, but for $400 a month, which 2 months is $800. Then $1,200 in 3 months. I mean, there would need to be some pretty clear expectations to the outcomes, right? To understand what exactly we want to get out of all of that value and that time, right? So, anyways, if you
Yep.
guys don't really know, then we can just move on or talk more about it later. But if you have some answers to these questions, then we could try to put together the proposal now and just try to move forward with it. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that we could um,
Yep. If we can
implement.
maximize the strength of our team, yep,
Yeah.
that would add value. Yep.
But we just need to have clarity on what exactly we want to do, right? So, for example, we could do a quick brainstorm, right? If we did a brainstorm on outcomes, or goals of like an assessment.
Yep. I'm thinking of like what you have said, the internal audit. But first, start on a survey so that we can maximize time because in interviewing, there might be uh, more hours spent because it is a one-on-one interview or a focus group discussion that sometimes the topics gets misaligned. Unlike if we have a documented survey, so that we can bucket each issues that a previous employee or a new employee may have.
Okay. So let's just do that. Let's keep it really simple and say the proposal is to
Yep.
initiate a survey of the FQN of the past FQN legal issues, right? Past FQN legal issues and solutions for this would be cost $200 per month. You know, for
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
all right, let's take a break. I mean, not break, a stretch. Stretch. All right, so the proposal is to initiate a survey of the past FQN legal issues and solutions for $200 a month and the potential client income budget. So this survey would then, you know, potentially could evolve to something more than a survey, but I think it's just a good start, right? So details.
Yep.
So I think we would start by just we would draft the survey, you know, review and edit it and improve, you know, make sure it is neutral as possible for all parties involved.
Yep. We can
Then,
use a 5-point scale for that.
yeah, and then we would do, you know, we would send once survey is approved, we send out the survey to everyone in FQN, and
Yep.
you know, give everyone, you know, a week or so to fill it out. So then we would review the results of the survey and organize the information, and then maybe do a simple report to summarize the data gathered and
Yep.
the primary outcomes and recommendations for next steps. So I think that would be a really good initial
Starting
process.
point. Yep. Yep.
Cool. So are there any questions on the proposal? No questions?
I
No
don't have any
questions.
question. I think this is clear. Yeah.
All right. Concerns. So there's definitely some concerns. So obviously there's the concern of neutrality. There's the concern of decision making on the questions. There's a concern of the cost. I don't think it's going to be too bad because I think we could do it within a month or two for this because it should be pretty straightforward. And then I also have a concern of engagement with the
Time to
legal
pause.
action
Please
group.
stop, close your eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Are there any other concerns? I do still think that we should have a list, get credentials and
Yep.
background info for Angelito, so we can provide that information so people understand where this survey is coming from. You know, to kind of legitimize the survey. So it's not just like a random survey, that it would actually come from Angelito, right?
Yep. We'll put out the objective and the purpose because always the output of the survey is on how we improve and bridge the gap and identify the bottlenecks of the previous issue.
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
I'm guessing yep.
I think for me, what I'm just saying is that, like, I just don't ever believe what anyone says, right? Under our value system, it's about what can be verified, right? So we still don't have verification of the credentials that Angelito stated, including, you know, legal degree and other, you know, HR experience. So I think it's just like before I would be comfortable approving this, it's like due diligence is just like, hey, you said all these things, so then let's just get that verified, and then we approve the proposal and move forward with it. So I think that's basically, I would be like a no on the proposal, or I would be a yes on the proposal pending, yes, a pending verification of credentials. Okay. So I'm a 3 with no verification. But then once everything's verified, I'm an automatic yes on this. I think it's great. I think it sounds really good and exciting. It's a little expensive, but yeah,
Can you vote Angelito? I vote by mistake on your column.
cool. So then we would just have a task for you, Angelito.
Get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So this does not pass pending verification. Okay.
Yep. When you say pending verification and at the same time provide references, right?
I don't care about references. I just want something that's verifiable. Like, typically someone doesn't say that they have a legal degree without having a legal degree that's verifiable. Typically you could even have a link to like a online website that proves it or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll try to search because I took my law classes way back 2000
Yeah,
to
but I mean,
2007.
a class is very different from a degree, right? So it's just like
No,
trying to.
I have a law degree. I have an LLB degree,
Yeah, so it's
but I
just like
don't have
don't.
a license.
That's fine. I don't care about the license. So you didn't say you had a license. You said you had a degree. So just tell us what the degree is, where
Yep.
it's from, and everything, and or show us a picture of whatever you do. It's fine. Just
Yep.
again, what people say is just not of concern because we work with people all over the world, and people say everything you would not imagine it. It's only what can be verified that matters, because otherwise we're just out of
Yep.
business yesterday. you know.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So
Will do.
so I'm gonna put this into the proposals, and then that will come up at the main session tomorrow and Thursday, Friday. Oh, by the way, Angelito, tomorrow there might be a main session during Andromeda Hour 1. So obviously you guys are not required to come, but obviously you can if you wanted to. But it's extra time, it's like it's separate from Cobalt. But we'll do our main session on Thursday, Friday, Cobalt Hour 1. All right, so I think we are good on that. So what I was thinking next is just to do a quick prioritization. So if we go down to line 122, these would be our current priorities, and we would just vote on them. So we could just vote on these real quick and just kind of get clarity on why and what we're prioritizing for moving forward. So let's just go ahead and vote here, and we can kind of see where we're at with everything.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Abdou, are you gonna vote?
Okay, I'm going to vote. Wait a second.
Yeah, it's line 122 to 129.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, it looks like everyone's done voting. So we do have one priority. The client work organizing, we all agree, is super important. Then we've got the tokens and the survey. Then all of this is sort of yellow and red. Okay, cool. So that looks good. Cool. So, I mean, obviously we spent an hour. We're at about an hour on this. So we could just stop. We could go into the token profiles. We could go into the past payrolls. Those are the next two highest priorities as far as moving forward here. And then I would go ahead and immediately copy and paste this into our work organizing spreadsheet so that all the priorities are updated in the client work organizing spreadsheet so that we don't lose all of that information. So basically next steps are either to move on to a different topic, or we could go on to the past payrolls or the token profiles are the two next highest priorities. Yeah, so it's just up to you guys what you want to do now. Or we can go on to a different topic, like we have lots of other topics. So I'm just gonna add, so we have token profiles and past payrolls. We add to our topic. So the past payrolls is kind of there, but we can put it again. So past payrolls, FQN, and then we have token profiles. Well, I would love to go over the weekly payrolls because I did a bunch of work on that. I'd also love to go over the task token or the work continuity group team documentations to get all of our session notes organized. Yeah, but we're gonna take a break now. So what do we want to do when we get back from the break?
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
How about you, Abdou? I'm thinking of tokens.
You wanna go token profiles?
So continue with the client work?
Yeah, we can do the client work.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, token profiles for me is like one of the most important things and definitely one of the top priorities that I'm working on. Unfortunately, it's not easy. It's hard for me to train you guys how to do it on your own. But we can certainly work on it for a little while and get organized on moving it forward. So basically this is like kind of a prioritization, planning, and next steps for VA work here. Okay, so this would be VA work because it's something you can't really do with. I guess there's one part that could be done, which would be the social media side of it. So there is a social media side that once you trained how to do it, you could do it, but really it relates to a much bigger process of social media. So it's still going to be VA work for a while until we finalize that part. So let's take a quick break, 4-minute break. When we come back, we'll get focused on the token profiles for a bit and continue doing client work. All right, this is good. Check.
Yeah.
coming back?
Yep, I'm back. I'm here.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
And
It's
the
4
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
So let's just start with kind of understanding the context and the work here, because I don't want to get us confused and overwhelmed. This comes under line 163 and is called equity token prep. So there's 3 equity types of client work under POS, and that is just overall equity support. Then there's the equity token preparation and value and profiles, which is what we're doing now, is line 163. And then there's the equity shares, ownership, and community equity administration. There is also a once per half year equity reporting that happens, but that's a separate thing, which is just the reporting of the value, the equity and the value. Okay, so the equity token preparation, value, and profiles is a very significant umbrella of a lot of different things for POS, because we deal with many different equities, right? So what we're talking about specifically is the SFC co-op tokens, is almost all we're talking about, right? So in that context, these tokens are for us, which actually technically, right? Technically that makes this a internal operation. But the reason it's not an internal operation is because the model is a case study and a experiment, right, of the client, right? So the client is modeling this token system on, and the co-op has agreed to implement it. Does that make sense?
No, I didn't understand.
So we have a token. The token model is the client work, whereas the tokens themselves are internal to the co-op, right? To the SFC co-op. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. All right, great. So what I would recommend here to keep things organized so we're not overwhelmed, like we do have a POS equity client organizing spreadsheet, but it goes over hundreds of things that have nothing to do with what we're doing right now. So my recommendation would be to create a new, basically, SFC co-op token profiles work organizing spreadsheet
Time to pause.
to
Please
focus.
stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
To focus exclusively on the specific client work for what is happening right now in the co-op, which is our priority right now. Does that sort of make sense? So I would say we start afresh, like start on a brand new work organizing spreadsheet to get organized on specifically the co-op token profiles, so that we don't get confused with all of the rest of the equity, which is much bigger. Like think about the co-op equity and the co-op tokens. Co-op equity and tokens would be 1/100th of the overall, like, 2 decades of equity we're dealing with. Okay, because the co-op's only been around for a few months, right? So, and it does fork, but it's 1/100th of the complexity of like all the other stuff, right? So let's just only focus on the co-op token. So that would be the first task. Do we all have agreement on that? Do we all understand where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So this is still all under the overall equity, but we're going to put it into its own spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new spreadsheet and call this the SFC Co-op Token Work Organizing Spreadsheet. And then let me share this just to keep everything organized. Anyone with the link can edit. Perfect. All right. So I think we're on the same page with this, and I'll paste that right there. So that is now pasted. And then typically when we do a task, we make it green. All right, so then the first thing I make on the spreadsheet would be like an info tab. And then the second thing I would make on the spreadsheet is the sessions, right? So sessions notes. So the first thing you guys should do is copy and paste the session notes onto the session tab. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the POS equity organizing spreadsheet, and I'm going to link the POS equity organizing spreadsheet onto the info spreadsheet. But I would highly recommend not to like go look at it and like deal with it, because it is a little bit overwhelming. A lot of information that you don't need. Okay. So can anyone do that task?
Can you repeat what we do?
You need to make sure you copy and paste our session notes into the new work organizing spreadsheet on the sessions tab.
Okay.
Right, so this is we do every single time. Every single session for client work, you save the link to the session notes on the work organizing spreadsheet.
Oh, okay, so every time we work on the token profile, we copy the note, the link, note link on the spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, so this is going to go onto the SFC Co-op token profiles work organizing spreadsheet. And this because this is the very first topic and session that we're doing on this particular client work. And so since it's the very first time we're doing it, we need to, this will be the first time copying and pasting over the session notes. So can you do that? Are you able?
So the title would go ahead.
Can
yeah, you talk.
So we will just duplicate the create another spreadsheet like the FQN legal support work organizing spreadsheet, but this one is titled for the token profiles.
I already created the spreadsheet. It's on line 28. So the spreadsheet's already there. I created it for you guys. So this is the SFC Co-op token profiles work organizing spreadsheet. And then what you want to do is you just want to copy and paste the notes from this session, so that in the future we always have, whenever we're talking about the SFC Co-op token profiles, it doesn't matter if it's 5 months from now, we will have these session notes one link away. Does that make sense? Do you understand, or you guys just don't get it?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like for me, it would take me about 5 seconds to do it. So I'm trying to just train you guys on how to do this, because it should be automatic. Every time you take a topic or you work on something, you just automatically copy the session notes into the work organizing spreadsheet, so that you never lose the information of what you worked on during the session. Otherwise, it can disappear. Are we on the same page? Can someone do that?
Yeah, I already copied it.
Well, it's not possible because I'm looking at the sessions tab in the SFC Co-op token profiles work organizing spreadsheet, and it's blank. I can even refresh and see if it's not blank anymore. It's still blank.
You need to refresh it.
I did refresh it. It's completely blank.
What? I already copied it. I don't know.
So you put it in the info tab. So info tab is not the correct tab. You want to put it in the sessions tab. So cut from the info tab and put it in the sessions tab. Can you do that?
Wait a second.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Can you do it, Angelito? Because I'm a bit lost.
You don't need to be lost. You just need to take the notes that you put on lines 7 and 8, and you want to cut them from there. And instead of the info tab, you put it on the sessions tab. You know the tabs at the bottom? There's like multiple tabs in the spreadsheet. You put it on the wrong tab.
I see it.
Because the info tab is not for the sessions. Like you want to make sure all the sessions are in the same place, and you're linking them all in chronological order, so that you never have a problem ever finding your sessions.
I already did it.
Perfect. Okay, so that took a little too long, but that was just getting us organized for future client work on this particular topic. Okay, so now let's get into the actual context of what we're doing. So to understand the actual model of the client, right, which is, you know, something I've been working on for decades now, right, and worked with multiple other businesses as well. With the cryptography and cryptographic automated ledger system technology, we are able to do unbelievable things in terms of the future of economic systems across the world. And so it's probably going to take many more decades. Realistically, it'll probably take centuries for the millennia of our old systems to readjust and function with the new cryptographic model, right? But the future of finance is cryptography, right? There's no question about it. So in the context of what we are doing is we are focusing on what's called value capture. Okay, so value capture is a very, very specific context of understanding value, and this comes into what, you know, what we are. We're the social value group, right? We're all about value and understanding value and the entire spectrum of value. So monetary value is only probably 1/1,000,000th, but let's just say 1,000th of easy accessible value that we experience in humanity and on our planet, right? Like monetary value is one tiny little thing, yet it completely consumes our entire society. And when you don't capture the full spectrum of value in a group or in a society, like you are losing massive amounts of both intrinsic value and monetary value. Because all intrinsic value can either currently or in the future can become monetary value.
And stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
All right, quick stretch. So without going into a lot of details, our primary goal with our new model is capturing, basically securing, you know, transferring, and, you know, trading all types of value. And there's a whole bunch of technologies that don't exist yet in a form that is necessary for what we want to do, but we don't have the money to hire, you know, $10,000 a month or even $1,000 a month for tech coders to do this yet. But one day we will get there, you know. So either someone else will create the technology we need, or we will have to create it ourselves, right? But that's just not our primary. Right now we're doing it all what we call like a manual system, because we don't need the technology. We have enough technology with the cryptographic systems to at least start a manual system, but eventually we're going to be doing much, much more technological advances. They just don't exist yet, okay? So because the technology doesn't exist yet, the manual model that we are doing is actually quite complex and cumbersome. But it's possible to actually initiate this model and this process with the existing technologies. It just takes a lot of extra work, okay? But it's less work than building an entire new cryptographic blockchain or automated ledger. So the only thing you really need to understand is the idea of value in the context of containers. So you have what's called a value container, and a value container is what we call a token. So we create tokens as containers for value. Does that make sense? You guys understand that concept? It's a very important concept. Like the token itself is what we call a value container, because you can't capture value without a container to put the value into. Does that make sense? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So
we hear you.
Yes.
So basically the tokens that we create are are containers to capture value. All right. So then the only thing you have to understand is that let's say you have a bottle of beer.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
You have a bottle of beer and you have a bottle of wine, right? And then you have a cup to capture the liquid value. So you want to pour yourself a cup of beer, right? And you want to drink your beer and you want to enjoy it and it's delicious and it's yummy. Or you decide to pour yourself a cup of wine and you drink the wine and it's delicious and yummy and has value. So both the beer has value and the wine have value. You guys following me?
Yes.
But the moment you only have one cup and you pour it half full of beer and half full of wine, and then the beer and the wine mix, you lose all value. The value is gone. Nobody wants a cup of wine and beer mixed together. Do you get it?
Yep.
Okay? So that is the foundation to everything we're doing. So if you can understand the idea, you have two things that can fit into a cup. And you can put one cup in one thing, and you can have a second cup for the other thing. But the second you mix them both into the same cup, you lose all your value. So if you only have one single token, you only have one single container for one single value model, which typically in our society is and only is monetary value. Okay? So once you understand the concept of a multi-token value capture model, that is what we are, and that is what we do. We are a multi-token value capture model because each token represents a different value to be captured. All right. So this is your chance to ask questions about why we're doing what we're doing. But if you don't understand why we're doing this, it will be a little bit silly to be putting in so much time creating dozens of tokens when you don't understand why we have so many tokens. Okay?
I think you told me why we create this lot of tokens because, as you said, if we put more time in those tokens, it will get more value time by time. If we keep like posting our session every day on YouTube, like when
No, because
people,
we can just have one token. That works with one single token. You have one single token, and you keep posting it, and it will become more valuable over time. So that is true for any token.
Please stop and get ready. Now
so we are
inhale.
talking about
1,
one single
2,
token, right?
3.
Yeah.
Exhale. 1,
Yep.
2,
So-
3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So you can have one single token that can get more valuable over time. And obviously that is a million times simpler than what we're doing. But our goal is not monetary. Our goal is not to just make a bunch of money with the token. We could create the most valuable tokens that exist besides Solana, and basically Bitcoin itself and Ethereum are meme tokens. Basically tokens that represent nothing but a fuzzy little picture of a dog or a cat or whatever. That's what the most valuable tokens. We're not interested in that at all. We're interested in actually transforming the value systems of all of humanity for thousands of years, if not millions of years. Who knows how long humanity will last, right? So when you think about meme tokens are really cool and they're cool in the moment, but they're stupid. They're very stupid tokens. The technology of cryptography and automated ledger models and systems are creating what's called a smart token, a smart monetary system, and that's what we are involved in. We're creating the highest level, smartest systems that possibly can exist. Okay? So it's just important to understand what multi-token value capture is and why instead of having one token, we have like dozens of tokens. Okay? So, yeah. Do you want to do 4 more minutes and then check out, Angelito? Or do you, I guess we can go to wrap up or whatever. Did you want
Yeah,
to continue, Abdou, or do you want to stop as well?
I wanna stop because I'm quite tired.
Okay. So do you guys just want to kind of repeat back, because you said you understand the actual value of the token going up over time, but do you guys understand the multi-token value capture model? Because if you guys don't understand this, it's really important for you to ask questions now, because if otherwise it's just, we're not really going to get very far with actually implementing the token profiles and building the whole system.
Yep. There's a learning curve that needs to be done. I think we need to research it to better have a grasp on this.
So you guys just don't understand the concept in general? For example, like,
Okay,
would
we
you guys
can
want to would you
do
guys want to
more 20
drink?
minutes for we can understand more if you wanna put another 20 minutes so we
Well, I don't
can
think it's going to take
understand
I
what you
don't think
said.
it should take 20 minutes, but would you want to drink a cup filled with beer and wine
Time to
mixed
pause.
together?
Please stop
No,
before
it will have no value as you said.
Exactly. That's all you need to understand. If you understand the idea that you don't want to mix two value things together, because then they disappear. So that's why we have more than one token. We have one token, for example, for our investment value. We have another token for our client value. We have another token for our output value. We have another token for our loan value. We have another token for our, our communications value, right? We have another token for our setup and training value. We have another token for our internal operations and client work value, right? So each type of work, each type of model, like we have our task value, right? So it could go on and on and on of all the different types of value we have, and we capture each of those types of value in a different token. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's all you need to know. So as long as you understand the difference of all these different types of value and how they can go up and down. For example, we have the very few output tokens. So this is like one of the rarest tokens, is the actual output and efficient work token. And so this token is much, much more valuable than, for example, our global extra bonuses token. That's just not going to be very valuable because there's way more of them. There might be millions of these tokens, whereas the output token might only have a few thousand tokens, right? So you can see how the difference in the type of value and the type of work that's being done actually creates a different long-term value structure that can be capitalized on for the benefit of the worker and the benefit of the organization and the benefit of the investor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. So Angelito, does that make a little bit more sense in terms of having multiple tokens and capturing different types of value?
Yes, Jay.
Cool. Awesome.
So I have one
All right.
more question.
Okay, and then let's go to
How
wrap up and
those
check out.
token, if we like don't sell them, will the value go up?
I mean, no, but there's something called tokenomics, right? And so the current proposal for our tokenomics, which I don't know if we have easily accessible here because I don't want to waste a bunch of time. But basically, the current proposal, which you haven't approved yet, is that we will put something like 5 to 10% of monthly uh, umbrella business value into the tokens, right? So this will create a model with work output that guarantees our tokens always go up each month. So in that context, even if we don't sell our tokens, a percentage of our value comes in. And so currently the multiplier is 7x, and we were talking about the proposal is to change that to 8x or even 9x. And so then it doesn't change our pay, it's just like more value from the client going directly to the token value. Okay, so that in that way, even without people buying our tokens externally, the value of our tokens will still go up, but people will be interested in them because we create a token model where it has an economic system built into it so that the value always is going up. Okay?
Okay,
Yes.
now I understand.
Yes.
So since
In
you
every
do
single month.
economic,
Say again.
so those token are economic, as you say, like
Yes. This is all
ma-
economic, right? So
yeah.
every
So if
month.
we find some people who are interested on economic, so they will invest in those tokens.
Yeah, and we have a whole bunch of other ways that people will be investing and interested in our tokens. But the key is getting them public, getting them in front of the public, getting them on the public profiles, and getting them on the public social media. Because right now, no one even knows we exist, and that's what we're trying to change. Okay, so that's what this client work
Yeah,
is the public token profiles and presenting our token to the public on the all of the different crypto systems, including the social media. Okay, and then every month when we buy the tokens, we'll also be burning tokens and getting rid of tokens in the system. So that will actually increase the overall value of the tokens themselves, because they become more scarce as we buy them each month, right? So overall, the model of the tokenomic model, once we pass the proposal, is very strong. And there's also many, many more things that make our tokenomic model extremely valuable. Once people understand what we're doing, they should be very excited and interested in it, because if you compare this to just like a nothing burger meme token, our token has the potential to be a multi billion-dollar model and system for the future of humanity, whereas a meme token is going nowhere long term. So it's fun for the
yeah,
short term, but the long term, it only has the value of speculation, which is the same thing as Bitcoin as well. So we're trying to
yeah.
create.
As you're saying, so if we want our token be in public, we need to focus on the social media. Or I think this is another topic.
No,
It's
no,
not
the social
our.
media is part of our token profiles. Absolutely. Mhm. Very
Yeah.
important to do social
So,
media. Yeah.
what do you think it's the right time to focus on the social media? Do you want to do it next session or in this week? I don't know. What do you think is for the best?
Well, there'll be a little bit here and there related to social media within the tokens, but the topic that we need to prioritize is the multimedia like setup. So this includes the communications for publicly searchable communications and our updating, right? So when we do that, we will get our communications all set up very good. Okay.
I have another proposal. If
Yeah.
we want to get our token to some people want to invest, I don't think this is will properly work. Some people now they use the what's called the uh, email ads. Like they send you emails. They send you like ads on your email. Sometimes I get some emails about tokens. Some I don't think this is will work. Maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be doing email lists. People can join our email list if they want to. So that is definitely
No,
a
I'm not talking
possibility.
about that. I'm talking about when you like go to your email
Yeah.
and you will see like some ads in your email.
Yeah, yeah. So people will invite people to join our email list, and then they can get our email
Yes,
updates
that's
if they
what
want
I'm
to get
saying. Yes.
emails. Yeah. Cool. So token profiles. So token profiles is line 163. So I think that's all we worked on today, just these three things, right?
Yes.
We did an hour of this and maybe a half hour of the token profiles. We didn't do the token profiles very long. How late were you, Abdou? You were about 15 minutes late?
No.
I'm not, no, Abdou. Angelito was 15 minutes late, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now
and
we are
and
two
how long
hours.
did we do total?
2 hours. The total. Yeah.
2 hours total. So I'm over somewhere. Maybe we just did 0.5 on this. Okay. But you were a little bit late, right, Angelito? 15 minutes late. So you did 1.75 hours. Cool. Great. So when you update your value tracking on your tracking spreadsheet, I did put a bunch of work in some of the most complicated formulas I've ever done. I mean, you can see these formulas are insane, but they just represent the weekly formulas that we did before, except they are just in formula form instead of entire spreadsheet. So this entire spreadsheet right here for the daily calculations right here, so this entire daily calculations is represented in this one single cell right here, okay? So it's pretty cool that we can do that. And then this basically estimates the daily pay rates, right? So I don't know if we did any public communications today. I don't think we did. So we can, this kind of goes down a little bit and we can start thinking about making sure we verify our publicly searchable communications. But other than that, we did really good on our client work and our 1.5 hours per week. And so once you put your information here, it will automatically come up. I believe we are on day 3. So I think you already put yours in here and it came up to $5.40, Angelito. So I don't know if that's correct, but that's good. So you would get the full $9, I think is the max, if you simply make sure we do our publicly searchable communications. So if we do that, then we're getting the full $9, and we'll have the rest of the week to do that. Okay, so that is exciting. Are there any questions regarding this new daily base upfront calcs? Because this is really cool because you can see per day exactly the estimated base value. And then obviously we have the weekly one as well. And the weekly one, I did a lot of work on this, but it automatically calculates on one single spreadsheet the estimated value for each individual week, so that we don't have to have separate tabs for each week. So it's just all on one single spreadsheet for each week, and then the total for the month. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So anyways, we still need to go through the payrolls and get agreement and make sure these are all correct, but we're on a really good track for this week. All right. So
Yes.
I think that's it for now. And also, as we increase client work for this week, it should also increase the value for last week too. So we need to make sure that calculation works out if we keep doing client work.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have any other next steps that we want to list, but I think we're all done. If there's any other last questions for me before we go. Good client work session. Wow.
Yeah.
We need to get organized as a team. So we're continuity group main sheet documentations organizing. So what I'm asking you guys to do for this is simply to take all of our notes from all of our sessions for the work for our team, and make sure that you link them just like we link all of our notes to like the client work organizing spreadsheet. We also need to be linking our session notes to our work continuity group team sheet so that we don't lose all of our team notes. Because it's very important that each session that we keep them all together so that we're keeping track of our team. Okay? So other than that, I think that we're looking pretty good overall. All right? Is there any other last question?
No, I don't have any questions. What about you, Angelito? I think Angelito is not here because he said he's going to check out. Probably he left, but he's still in the call.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
Okay, bye. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Have
No
a good
problem.
night. Take care. Bye bye. And if you
Bye
guys
bye,
need to
guys.
change, if you need to change the Zuri time, you can change it to any octant, for Old World. So just try to
Yeah,
find
I
a
will
time
try
that
to
works.
make it today. If I don't make it, I will just see Angelito what's the best time
Yep.
for him.
Message me, Abdou, on
Yeah.
your
Okay, I will
ability.
message on Discord.
Yep.
And if you guys can't do
Thank you.
Old World, we can always consider, recruitment or something to try to find people who could do Old World, and then you can continue to do New World, and then we can adjust the budgets or whatever. But let's just one step at a time. So I will talk to you all tomorrow and just keep updating on the email list as needed. Okay.
Okay, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.